Chapter 6, Amateur Sport in the Community. An overview. People engage in amateur sport for many reasons: enjoyment, to be affiliated with a group, fitness, healthy living, the joy of competition. Governance organizations are generally public or nonprofit in these instances. So the history started in rural Britain in the early 1800s, adaptation of British sports and development of new games. By the mid 1800s, there was fewer working hours and more leisure time, which gave more time for other pursuits such as sport. Local governments enacting laws prohibiting what was immoral or improper, like you couldn't have racing on Sundays. Subsidized sport competitions. Public sport organizations developed due to the increased activities and publicity in sports and participants. Sport leagues, festivals, and jamborees were all held. Nonprofit sport organizations deliver programs and services with no intent to gain a profit. They provide alternative to programs run by the city recreation departments. And then for diverse interests, you might have water skiing, bicycling, walking, badminton, all are different options. Public sport organizations, city parks and recreation departments, recreational sport leagues, and state games. City parks and recreation departments, their mission is to provide opportunities for leisure time activities, learning, and playing in a safe environment. It's generally open to all residents of a city, although the city of Niagara Falls had a program that anybody from the county could attend, which was unusual, and then they changed it back to the city, but usually it's just your constituency, which would have been the city. Financials are funded largely by residents' taxes. The organizational structure is a city department, and they give some examples there if you want to take a look at them. Here is a organizational chart for the City of San Diego's Park and Rec Department. Very extensive. Recreation and sport leagues, their mission is what sport is delivered and to whom. Is it going to be highly competitive or recreational? It depends on the league. Costs of facilities are borne by the community, and then they give you an example of community soccer club. State and provincial games, their mission is to deliver well-organized amateur sport competition for athletes of various ages in a region. It's funded usually by public or private sources, entry fees, and money from sponsors and marketing. And they give an example of the Iowa Sports Federation. Nonprofit sport organizations, the Y or the YMCA and the YWCA, Young Men's Christians Organization or the Young Women's Christians Organization. Boys and Girls Club, the Jewish Community Centers, and other community programs. The Y, formerly the YMCA, is a service organization. The name change rebranding was to emphasize its programs on youth and healthful living. A significant history in basketball, volleyball, racquetball, camping, fitness, and swimming. It serves more than 45 million people in almost 120 countries. That's a lot. The Boys and Girls Club, their mission is to enable all young people, especially those who need us the most, to reach their full potential as productive and caring, responsible citizens. There are 4 million youth participating in programs in 4,200 clubs in the U.S. They get their revenues from membership dues, private donations, corporate funding, and community partners, for example, the United Way. Jewish community centers are under the authority of the Jewish Community Association of North America. Their mission is to encourage and help everyone at the JCC to continue learning, growing, and thriving. Revenues come from dues, from program revenue, from federation support, from grants, the corporate sponsorship, earnings from investments, the Maccabi Games, and other activity income. Community groups, their mission is to deliver particular activity by providing facilities and related services. You have volunteer and community members. It's funded by measurement fees, sponsorship, and other fundraising and grants. Current policy areas. So where do we need the help the most? Fundraising. Who's going to pay for it? It always comes down to money. Technology and social media, parental involvement, violence in sport, and selecting sport youth coaches. So fundraising, we have to identify sources, solicit donations and sponsorships, servicing and maintaining donor relationships. So what are some ways that nonprofit sports organizations can improve their fundraising? What do you think? In your opinion, do you see the name of a prominent person among the organization's board of governors transpire you want to give more? For me, I don't really pay attention to board of governors names really, so it wouldn't inspire me, but um, some people would. Technology and social media, some key issues, the prevalence of it in sport. Social media is a source of information, unfortunately could be false information, which opens a risk for the organization. Parental involvement, some key issues, children being taught the wrong lesson and values. For parents, spectator code of conduct and contracts specifying acceptable behavior. Many leagues make the parent side a code of conduct even though they are not participating, their child is, because of issues with overzealous parents. Violence in sports, some key issues, athletic aggression and violence. I don't know if you saw the Texas um, football player that attacked a referee. It's crazy. There's spectator violence. People get too involved in their team and, well, they get a little out of hand. And you have to define violent behavior. Your point of view, your nephew joined a local swim team and is showing a lot of promise. Your sister, his mother, believes he could be the next Michael Phelps or Ryan Lochte if only he'd practice more. She's become very involved, attending every swim meeting practice. She also has become aggressive towards other parents and their children. What do you suggest? What do you do to suggest that she modify some of her behaviors? I think my sister needs a talking to. All right, on to chapter 7.